Hello, gorgeous people. I hope you are doing okay. Happy Tuesday. So, sorry, I need to catch my breath a moment. You may have seen we were live in the other group and we had some sound issues, so I was just trying to sort that out. And then bit of an overshare here, but then I needed to nip to the loo, so I quickly nipped to the loo and then ran back. So sorry to share too much information, but just to explain while I'm a little bit so I'll take a sip of my tea. There you go, I'm back in the room now. So lovelies, today's awakening practice, and keeping on the theme that we've got running out this quarter, so the theme of Vedic philosophy. And for those of you that are also reading the book, the Yoga Sutras, this very much fits in with that as well. So today's practice, we're going to be doing a little meditation, but it's a meditation with a mantra. In the Vedic philosophy, a mantra is seen as a vehicle to awakening. It's a vehicle that kind of calms the mind and allows us to get to that next level of consciousness. And when I talk about that next level of consciousness and that next level of awakening, I suppose what I really mean is being able to see things from that higher perspective, to not get drawn into our thoughts and emotions and stick to that story that it's all real, that it's all consuming us on a day-to-day basis, but instead see it as just something to be observed, something to witness, and not hold attachment to that. As you hop on and join me, say hello. It's lovely to have you here today. And after that chat in the other group, I'm really looking forward to a meditation to calm my energy down. Although it was really beautiful to chat with one of my clients in there. It's such a shame we had sound issues. I'll see if I can sort out something with the video for those of you that want to see it. So, if you haven't already, I invite you to get comfy, get a little nest ready. I'm coming to you from my couch today, so a bit different. Why not? And just goes to show you can meditate anywhere. You don't have to be in any particular place in your house. I will often do a beditation, as one of my meditation teachers used to call it, where you meditate in bed. But today I'm doing a couchitation. I can't believe I just said that. That sounds really naff. So, get yourself comfy. Get yourself cozy. Create a little nest. And we'll just give ourselves some time to come back to us. And today we'll be working with the mantra, I am. And one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given when meditating with a mantra was from the beautiful David G. I don't know if any of you know David G. He was one of my mentors, and I used to listen to his meditations on Insight Timer, then did meditation teacher training with him, and I love his stuff, love his books. Love the fact he shows up as all of him. He used to work at the Chopra Center with Deepak. So a huge wealth of knowledge. But one of the best pieces of advice he gave me with working with a mantra is the trick is to listen to the mantra as you're saying it, rather than concentrating on what you're saying. So as you're working with the mantra today, I am, it's more about hearing that within you rather than concentrating on how you're saying it. There's just a difference, a really subtle difference in the emphasis when we do that. And it kind of opens us up as opposed to us feeling very closed off and try it, play around with it. It might give you a very different experience. So as and when you're ready, bringing your attention to the breath in the belly. And we're just going to notice that gentle rise and fall. Allowing ourselves to get curious with the breath. Allowing it to pull us back into this moment. Noticing the speed of the rhythm. Whether that breath is flowing smoothly or feels a bit more jittery or jilted. Noticing how deep you're breathing in this moment, or whether it's more shallow, more light. And also noticing if you're judging any of that. If you're judging these labels as good or bad, or trying to make the breath into something it's not in this moment. And see if you can let that go. Allow yourself to completely surrender to whatever the breath is doing in this moment. And before we move into working with the mantra, just noticing if you're holding on to any tension in the body. Maybe loosening around the brow, softening the eye muscles, letting go of any tightness in the jaw. Allowing your shoulders to drop away from the ears. And letting go of any tightness in the tummy, around the hips. And gently saying to yourself, on the in-breath, I am. I am. And repeating this mantra silently at your own pace internally. Maybe sticking to the rhythm of the breath. And if you notice at any point you lose track of the mantra or it gets jumbled or your thoughts take over, gently coming back to I am. You may find the mantra gets louder or quieter, a bit mixed up. All of these are absolutely fine. If you notice any emotions or feelings of restlessness come up, just notice them and let them go. Coming back to I am. Listening to this mantra is all you need to worry about for the next few minutes. I am. And if you do find your mind wants to pull you away, it's absolutely fine. We just gently redirect the attention back to I am. I am. I am. And next, placing your hand on your heart space if that feels comfortable to you. And asking yourself some sacred questions. What did my soul come here to do? Allow the answers to flow into you. Sometimes there'll be no answers. Sometimes there'll be so many. What did my soul come here to do? And next question, how can I live up to that today? How can I live up to that today? And final question, what intention am I setting from this moment forth? What intention am I setting from this moment forth? And starting to notice the feeling of the ground beneath you. The temperature of the room on your skin. Any sounds in the outside world that are calling you back. Before gently opening your eyes, coming back to the outside world. This sort of practice is really useful if you find yourself stuck in a fear mentality, stuck in a place of ego, stuck in a place of thinking small, and you feel like you need to zoom out and see the big picture. These sort of practices help remind us that we're so much more than the things that go on in our heads. We're so much more than the silly little worries we can have or the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. We're part of a beautiful, big, expansive universe. I genuinely believe each and every one of us is here for a reason. I do. And that may sound, I don't know, to some people it sounds crazy when I say that, but to me it sounds crazy not to say that. Why else would we be here? There's got to be a reason we're here. And I think every single thing we've been through, every single thing we've experienced, the reason we have the parents we do, the reason we have the body we do, or the gender, or the race, or the health issues, all of that was given to us for a reason. And I don't mean this in a kind of like the Hindu sense of the word, where there's like the caste system or anything like that. I mean this from a sense of all of those things have given you a particular perspective, a particular outlook, a particular challenge, which has helped you learn and grow and develop and evolve into that next level. Or it can do, if you allow it to. So this is a beautiful practice when we can find ourselves getting stuck into that fear mentality, that mentality of victim mentality, or that mentality of feeling like the world is happening to us, not for us. Then this is a gorgeous way to zoom out and go, okay, big picture. What can I learn from this? What am I here to do? How do I need to show up today? So I hope that's been helpful for you. I'm very aware there's a lot of fear and scarcity in the world at the moment. I talk to a lot of people, and if the pandemic wasn't hard enough, people are now worrying about things like the potential war that might be happening in Ukraine, or the rise in oil prices and food prices, and like our council tax around here is going up a ridiculous amount, and all of these things can feel really heavy, really scary when we've already been in a pandemic for 2 years, not to mention there's been so much change and so much resistance to certain things in a really good way as well, but that can also inject a lot of fear into our kind of collective consciousness. So I think it's even more important that we come back to these practices to help us go, oh, big picture now. What are we here to do? How do I need to show up? What am I here to learn? And I know some days that feels easier than others. So I'm thinking over the next few weeks, we'll really focus on that kind of coming away from fear, stepping into that place of abundance, stepping into that place of knowing that actually we're part of a beautiful universe and everything is here for us. Then that should really serve us over the next few weeks. Hi Tamisha, lovely. Hope you are doing okay. So, I hope that was useful. What have we got coming up? Let me grab my diary. Sorry, bear with me. My head's getting far too close to the screen while I grab my diary. I'm still really old school. I have like a paper diary. I don't know how, I don't really know how people cope with computer diaries. It doesn't work for me. So, where are we? We're here. Okay, so next week we have the talk happening in the group with the lovely Janine. She's going to be talking to us about Iyengar yoga. And I know Janine also has so much knowledge when it comes to yogic philosophy. So she will be a real source of wisdom for us, I'm sure. Really looking forward to that. That's happening on the Friday. On the Tuesday, obviously, we've got our normal awakening practice. And then on Monday the 28th, we have our book club. So hopefully we're reading the book. So the book this week is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And what happened, and this book came about because Patanjali decided to take all the different yogic philosophies and put them into the Yoga Sutras. And so this is a really beautiful book for understanding the background to yoga, as opposed to the kind of practice that we're more familiar with. So it's less about downward dog and more about understanding, what was the ideals behind yoga. There's some really interesting research that apparently the actual moves that we practice in yoga were not introduced to a lot later. And in fact, there's also evidence that those moves came from Eastern Europe down to India to incorporate into yoga, and actually that was just a way to get the energy flowing and was added afterwards, as opposed to it being something that it was based on. So yeah, a really interesting book to read, and I hope you get a lot from it. And I'm sure Janine can teach us more about the philosophies behind yoga when she comes in on the Friday. Tamisha, you love a paper diary too. I know, do you know what it is? I think it reminds me a bit like, like September when you used to start school. I get excited whenever I have a new diary. This isn't that new, but yeah, I think that's what it's about. It's that whole connection with like a new school term, and I used to love that feeling of the new school term, and I'd have all the best of intentions of, how I was going to dedicate myself that term, and then it always used to go out the window because I was too fun-loving, if I'm perfectly honest. So, I'm sending you so much love for a beautiful week ahead. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. I hope you are enjoying the book. If you haven't started it already, you've still got time. Like I say, Audible has been a real friend of mine over the past couple of months to try and get through these books, because I too struggle to find big chunks of time where I can sit down and read properly. So that might help. You love stationery, full stop, and never lose that. My fun-loving side. Yeah, that's not going away. I know it's not going away because I still see that in my dad, and I see it in my grandma. Even when she was 100, she still had that fun-loving side. In fact, I don't mind sharing with you, I remember phoning her up when she, even when she had dementia, she was brilliant, such good fun. And even the kind of fantasies she used to go into from her dementia were wonderful. Like I'd phone her up when she was in her nursing home. She was quite posh, my grandma. She'd gone to a convent boarding school and things like that. And she always called everyone darling. She was darling. And I remember phoning her up and saying, "Oh, Grandma, how are you doing? How was your day?" She'd go, "Oh, darling, it was fabulous. I went to Buckingham Palace today, and me and the Queen had tea." And I just thought, how lovely that even though her mind wasn't working properly, she still could take that fun-loving side into that experience, and I really saw it. And she was always happy because the nursing home she was in still allowed her to have her gin, so that was the most important thing to her. And I'm sure it was the gin that kept her going, if I'm perfectly honest. I probably shouldn't say that as a health coach, but in Grandma's case, I really think it helped. But yeah, so I do hope I can keep hold of that fun-loving side and take that into all my years. I do. Yeah, she was the most fabulous, lovely lady. In fact, I'll show you. Oh, Nick, can you see that wooden thing up there? My like shelving unit was my grandma's tea chest. So all her teas, and I think this is where my love of herbs came from, was my grandma. All her teas were on that tea chest. And we used to make things like lavender pillows together and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I attribute my herbalist roots to, was my grandma. Anyway, I could share with you all day about my grandma. She was quite fun and had some wonderful things to say, and very quick-witted, and didn't care for any kind of people telling her what she could and couldn't do as a woman. So I think I also get my strength of character from her. So lovelies. I'm rambling a bit today, I do apologise. Yeah, thank you to my grandma. Yeah, beautiful lady. So, I am sending you so much love, wishing you a gorgeous week. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday for another awakening practice. Again, it will have its roots in the more Vedic philosophy. Lots of different ones to explore, and looking forward to going through all of those with you. And then I'll see you the following Friday, or the next Friday, for our chat with Janine. But if you need anything in the meantime, reach out. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.